When you first get to Alaska on a motorcycle, you have to stop at Thompson's Eagle Claw Motorcycle Campground. It's my second favorite next to Cycle Camp in Forks, Washington. It's a tremendous experience. This place has little theme places like you can sleep on the bus. And if you go farther in, you'll find that it has a sauna, it has a workshop, it has camping. It has open camping spaces, but a lot of them are themed. There's an ambulance you can sleep in. There's a lodge that you can sleep in. There used to be a teepee, but it's gone now. They have a full kitchen facility, which is just really wonderfully set up, good bathrooms. And this is a lodge that we slept in right here. Great place, great place, great experience. There's the ambulance. You can rent any of those. Absolutely a must if you go to motorcycle or go to Alaska on a motorcycle. Leaving Tok, Alaska, and heading towards my brother's in Fairbanks, we passed Mukluk Land. One of these days, I'm going to stop in there. It's supposed to be quite a sight. Saw quite a few moose in Alaska. Funny thing is, I didn't see a moose in British Columbia and a million bears, and I didn't see a bear in Alaska the entire time I was there. Taking the Richardson Highway into Fairbanks to see my brother. Like I said, I didn't see a bear the entire time I was there until I got to my brother's house, and this was what I was presented with. But at least it was a nice place to sleep. Getting into Fairbanks and meeting my brother, we stepped into his garage and took a look at the jewels that we had bought over the winter. Pure powerhouses, 1971 and 1974, I believe, Honda CT90s. I have the orange one, he has the yellow one. They need a little prep before we got ready to go, but we got on that, changed the rear tires, set the points. I forgot how to do all of that stuff. It was good. Make sure the carburetors were cleaned out. And of course, we had to prep and put the carrier on transfer for Izzy. Our plan was to ride these up to Prudhoe, up the Dalton Highway. We had gone up the Dempster Highway last year, at least I had with a couple friends. So I wanted to do the Dalton this year. As it turned out, eventually you'll see that it's a bit too much mud and rain, but we had a blast on these things. A lot of maintenance first, a lot of prep first, but it was worth every bit of it. These really brought back the joy of motorcycle riding. I swear, it's been a long time since we had something so simple and low powered. I had the deluxe version here. It has the extra fuel tank. These are Trails 90s or CT90s. The first ones had two sprockets, but these have a lower gear transmission that you can shift back and forth. In the low gear, I think it would go about 5 miles an hour total in top gear. Maybe not that bad, but they will practically climb a tree. So like I say, we changed tires, we set points, we cleaned carburetors, and we got ready to start them up and see how they ran. Progress. The official cold start test. Full head pump. No problem. We're going to try this without even any choke.
There you go.
Key on.
Oh, wow.
What do we say?
That is cool. Yep. That is insane power, too.
We are ready to go racing.
Yep.
KTM orange.
KTM. And over on the other side of the ring, we've got Mellow Yellow.
Get off my back, Izzy.
There he is. You don't even need the carrier, Izzy. He'll just stand on the back.
This is an example of how zip ties rule. The ideal luggage. Well, we were going to take the 90s to the Arctic Ocean today, and yet this rain, which was predicted mildly, has made just rivers in the road. So it looks like tomorrow. The next morning, after hearing about a number of people being stuck in the mud, including my really good friend Dave Sims, who was on a Can-Am Spider, got stuck in the mud up on the Dalton Highway, we decided that's probably not the best idea for these two underpowered beasts. So we went up that direction, but turned left onto the Elliott Highway and headed off toward Manly Hot Springs. And this is a place Brian had known well, and we really had a great time there. Just kicked back and relaxed. There's just some general footage. I'll kind of let it roll. And there was a lot of road construction. There were a lot of detours, pilot cars and things. This was the general surface we were riding on the majority of the time. You'll see later on we got to really test out the 90s. They did a good job, and we had a lot of fun. So I'll just let this stuff run for a little bit. And this was a little park we camped in outside Manly Hot Springs. It was full at the resort, so that was just as well. We got this pretty cheap, and it was nice and relaxing. After some delicious high-grade coffee in the morning, we headed back on the Elliott to the Dalton just to get the picture here. We jumped on the Elliott and went back to the Eureka Rampart Road. This is where we spent most of the time. This road was just spectacular. A lot of dirt, gravel, a lot of uphill, downhill, some fantastic scenery. I actually threw the drone in the air for once. That rarely happens with me. But here are some of those, fantastic Instagram glory shot things riding through Alaska on CT90s, no doubt. We found the Eureka Rampart Road, which goes out to a little indigenous village, which we didn't want to quite go all that way. It goes from gravel to hills to remote country to worse gravel, worse mud into a muddy two-track. And that was really interesting. These bikes handled it actually incredibly well. We were really quite happily surprised with how well they handled all of this. The Eureka Rampart Road had some great steep sections up and down. They really strained the little bikes. They were a lot of fun, a lot of different varied surfaces. Like I say, as we went farther, it degraded quite a bit, but they just chugged along, hopping over little tree limbs and all. So certainly couldn't complain about the way the bikes performed. They were just absolutely amazing for early 70s motorcycles. Then we dealt with the old motorcycle saying, it's all fun and games till somebody breaks a chain. And that's what happened on Brian's bike. It was a
And
long
Brian
series
coming
of
in with
events.
chain issues.
Broken adjuster, which led to a failed link, which led to a failed chain, which led
Go,
to
Fred
the most
Flintstone.
interesting tow up a hill ever. And miraculously, Dave Sims arrived from a second attempt at the Dalton. So there we were. We are switching bikes back to our bigger bikes, and we're going to go to Denali Highway, camp out. Well, actually, we're going to stay at a resort on the way. Much nice. You can see Brian's Beast back here. Tundra will be going with us on this, so Tundra and Izzy can have motorcycle pup adventures.
You know why? Because we're cowboys, and on a steel horse we ride.
Okay, this is Brian's cowboy machine. We stayed at the McLaren Lodge where we had great pie, great food, and a nice place to sleep. Tremendous view out the back door. Wonderful, sitting right on the McLaren River. And we had a good rest, got up in the morning and tackled the rest of the Denali. It was a tremendous part of the trip and one not to be missed. after we got back from Denali, we got a little rest for Izzy and us, and we put the crate back on the orange bike this time and took her for a ride. And we just did another few hundred miles on the 90s until we had a mechanical on Brian's bike. Then it was time to head on out of the state. This has been an absolutely incredible trip, and leaving Brian was really tough. I'll miss him a lot, but we'll get together next year, I think. You can watch my endless obsession with bridges, and as we work our way out, we came across the state back to Tok. This time, instead of staying at the campgrounds, I went and stayed with my good friend Silas, who lives in Tok. Silas has a great YouTube channel, a great Instagram profile as Alaska KLR 650. So check him out. And he was great at hosting us. I see myself chattering away as this bridge goes by, and yet another bridge, and yet another bridge, and yet another bridge. The surfaces were incredible on these bridges. They just wood, grates, whatever. And they were fun to ride on, that's for sure. Anyway, yeah, here's Silas. Hi, Silas. Bye, Silas. And we head to the border.